to another episode of the Shifty podcast. I'm Luís, aka SpartanSloth, and today we have...
It's your boy Jim Servac, and it's just the two of us.
Hey Jim.
Hi Luís.
Hi.
Hi.
This is making me uncomfortable.
How are the Olympics? Tell me how that's going.
Oh Christ.
Does that make you uncomfortable?
Not. Yes.
Let's discuss it then. I want to hear about it.
Well, to be honest, I have been a little bit out of the loop. I haven't been keeping up with a whole lot of the news, but man, this is gonna be a shit show, I'm telling you. Apparently, from what I've gathered, 12 Australian athletes have already gotten mugged.
Nice.
Or so the internet tells me. I'm not sure if that's true, or if this is the accurate number. Like, it could be more by now. But yeah, so yeah, what are you guys getting? Well, for me it's international news. You people just call it news.
I honest to God have not kept up with the Olympics. I have been very busy here this week. So I haven't really paid attention. I know before the Olympics got started, I read a news article that said that Brazil was deploying 88,000 military and police forces to the Olympic Games in case there was a terrorist attack.
Yep, something like that. They've already conducted some searches and arrested some potential terrorists or something.
Great.
So, I guess that's a good thing. I mean, in a way, it's good because they got potential terrorists. But on the other hand, it's bad because terrorists?
Yeah, right. How did they come to do that? Were they doing like random checks? Were they racially profiling?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I can't recall how the operation went down. But apparently, like, they got leads, and they actually found a bunch of people who claimed they were of terrorist cells, which is something about Brazil that always astounds me. Is that things that out there are considered a big threat or something. Here, we, at least on the internet, we usually make fun of it. So if people mention, like, let's say ISIS, and it's like, oh my god, those guys are doing some really bad shit out there, and now they're threatening Brazil. Dude, the amount of memes and internet jokes made about them coming here is amazing. Like, there's so many. Do you remember the show Power Rangers?
Yeah, I remember. Big fan.
So there's the Megazord, right?
Right.
So I saw an image that was fucking brilliant. It was first a picture of Jesus, and it's like, if ISIS tries to Megazord, and then underneath that there was a picture of the big Christ statue in Rio. I forgot, I can't remember the name in English, but in Portuguese it's Cristo Redentor. It was like, if ISIS tries to take down my Megazord, shit's gonna get real.
I think it's like Christ the Beautiful, I think. What does it translate to? I mean, because I'm trying to remember the name of it myself. I mean, it's not like we don't have the internet here.
Yeah, let me check here. See how you guys call it. The fuck?
Christ the Redeemer. That's what it is.
Wow, Google just went crazy here. I don't want to print this page. Google, fuck you.
You went crazy.
Yes. It's Christ the Redeemer. I mean, the translation is that. I wanted to do a bit of a search because you mentioned Christ the Beautiful at first. I was like, wow, that
something like that. I knew it was like I knew it was like Christ the something, and I was like, what was that adjective or the noun? I guess is really what it was.
But yeah, I know that some athletes complained that there were no Pokestops or Pokemon gyms at the Olympic Villa, so
that's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not going to be much in the way of Pokemon Go here. I think until the the tracking issue gets sorted out. I mean, the latest update took away the fact that every Pokemon looks like it's 3 paw prints away, but now the reality is that now you have no idea where they're at. You know, I mean, it's like, okay, good. Well, they're within half a mile, I guess. And since Niantic shut down the servers for the APIs that allowed third parties to display where Pokemon were on their maps, now nobody has any clue at all. So Niantic needs to get it sorted out. I know of a couple people who are playing the game out of protest until such time as it is being resolved. So,
Huh. And if I may go back to the whole Olympics thing, are people that scared of a Zika virus outbreak here or something?
there is
'Cause man,
concern for it because it can cause issues. It's really an issue um, for children because it increases the rate of birth defects. It's not so much that it's going to cause like issues with the actual person who is currently infected with it. I think it comes down to a lot of the fact that these are, as athletes, these are people who genetically would be inclined to have good genes, I guess. So we want good genes for healthy babies. And if our stellar examples of human physique are ruined by a disease, which causes the next generation to be dodos, yes, that's a big concern.
but the thing is, at least last time I checked, like the potential birth issues last for like, uh, was it 8 months? The risk of getting those diseases and all that. I asked because, man, Brandon is going fucking. Brandon from Rooster Teeth. It's like the other day I saw, I think it was 5 tweets on the same day about Zika stuff. I think it was Brandon. I should check my sources before I
Probably
start
should check your
saying
sources.
stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna
So
do that right now, but still.
I think it might be, and I don't know how the virus works exactly. I assume it's something along the same lines as like a cold or any other disease, where if you catch it, your body will eventually sort it out, so long as it's not deadly. Will get it sorted out, which then would make you immune to contracting the exact same strain. But if it is a different version, so like if the version of the Zika that's here in the United States, it's just getting started being here, by the way. I think we just had our first, well, it's not confirmed, but our first supposed mosquito related Zika transmission of the virus just last week. So, the strain that's here might be a mutation of what is in Brazil or elsewhere in the world, so you could, in theory, infinitely contract it if every mosquito that bit you had a different version of the virus.
Oh, and I was almost correct. It was 3 tweets.
Well, semantics.
Yeah, I mean potato, potato.
Right.
I just another thing that is being really weird here is that we are at a point in time that people aren't quite proud of being Brazilian or happy about it because we're going through a political crisis, an economic crisis, and there's the Olympics that no one wanted to be here. Like Brazilians didn't want it to be here, and it seems like a lot of the foreign community didn't want it to be here as well. So, the whole expenses and all the shit that we're going to go through with it. Um, so people are not really that happy about it. Still, on the television, there are a bunch of companies and stuff, and also the government, I guess, trying to make it sound like, hey, we're all really happy about the Olympics. Let's be happy and, root for Brazil. Yay! Meanwhile, people are like, yeah, eat a dick, government.
Yeah, well, I think that's just kind of the um, a lot of the world, it seems, is kind of turning more and more against, like, I don't want to say big government, but the perception of wealth, and it's becoming it's a big deal in France right now. And it's I'm not gonna given that the UK has decided to leave the EU, I'm not gonna say it's really endemic to the UK, but it's popular here in the US, where there is the idea that those who are wealthy are the ones that are inherently evil. That if you have money, then you're greedy and you're selfish and you've screwed people over to get it. So I think what the perception is that there's so many people. I assume, at least, I'm not in Brazil and I don't keep up with the news, but based off of the way you describe it, I assume the perception is something similar to what's going on here and in France, where there are those who are not wealthy and they see things that are so wealth positive, like everybody's happy, we're here to have the Olympics and we have all this money to build the stadium and to host the Olympics, we should all be proud to be Brazilians. And the reality is that you've got a lot of people who are like, well, I'm not wealthy, I'm paying taxes to do this shit, but I'm still starving, bro. What WTF, mate? And I think that's a lot of the global mindset of it, because there's a lot of people who are less and less proud to be Americans, and that's losing national pride is kind of a bad thing for us here in the U.S.
And for us, it's just another Thursday.
Yeah, right. Just another Thursday for those of us.
Yeah, it is a really complicated time right now. Still, I'm kind of curious to see like a few things about the Olympics. It's interesting because, for example, with soccer, I don't really give a shit about soccer, but when the world rolls out, I usually try to keep up a little bit. For some reason, these big international events draw my attention.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely fun. I mean, I like to watch the big international events as well because it does instill, I think, briefly that national pride, because you can say, okay, these are athletes, these are people who are working very hard to give it everything they've got in the hopes of proving that they're the best, or at least among the best. So, and that seems like it's good, honest work. So it's easier to accept than the more socio-economic politics that go into things.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same way. I mean, I really don't. I played soccer for 8 seasons when I was younger. I don't really follow soccer religiously, but I do. I do like to watch the big world events, like the big tournaments, like FIFA and the World Cup and so forth.
Now, for the Olympics, I'm not sure what are all the sport events going to be, but I think there was something about grass hockey or whatever. And dude, I can't really imagine how people play grass hockey. Don't.
Grass hockey.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've never watched a match. You
I
know
found
that
I found Google's got a list of it here. Let me see if I can find this. Field hockey. That's what it's
field
called.
hockey, yes.
Field hockey is does not look like the United States is participating in field hockey. So you don't have to worry about us taking the gold medal in that world.
Yeah, I mean, field hockey just strikes me as cricket.
I don't even know how to play cricket. Like, got a clue.
It's a bug.
Let's
And we just lost some people in our audience.
see.
I know that I think Quirky Tyler and Stewart, I guess, are into cricket. So sorry guys. We don't know jack shit about it.
There's water polo, which has always been popular. Not I don't know that I
Which
don't know the United
is,
States is very good at it or not, but we're in the list of teams that are going to play water polo.
let me guess, water polo is pretty much Marco Polo, right?
No. It's like to way oversimplify it, I'm going to say that it is basically volleyball in a pool.
See, why don't they just name it water volleyball or something?
I don't know. I didn't make these things up. But they're doing rugby sevens for the first time since I think the 40s. It's pretty much rugby except played with 7 people instead of 12. And there are some prominent American football players who are going to be playing in it. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. That's starting. Let's see. United States and Argentina are the first teams to play next Tuesday at noon. I assume this is Eastern time. I don't know. It doesn't say it. It just says 12 p.m. Maybe it's 12 p.m. for y'all, which would be super early for us.
If it's BRT, it's Brazilian time.
Yeah, it just says 12 p.m. There's nothing else.
Huh.
But yeah, Australia's playing, Great Britain, Kenya, New Zealand, Japan, South Africa, Spain, France, and U.S., Argentina, Fiji, Brazil, and at Tuesday at 9 p.m. The United States and Brazil will go against each other.
Oh.
So
Fight us, Jim.
Yeah, right? It would finally prove that we're actually better than Brazil in everything, including a sport we haven't played in the Olympics since the 40s.
Man, why? Well, then again, I don't understand anything about rugby, but
I don't either.
damn.
All I know is that when you get into, I don't know what the end of the field is called. I'm going to call it the end zone incorrectly. And I know you have to touch the ball on the ground. So it's not like American football where you can just run into the end zone. You actually have to touch it on the ground. So.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, the thing that I'm amazed is that they're bringing this type of rugby, but from the 40s. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't know if that changes a lot for the rules and stuff.
I don't know if rugby sevens was a thing back in the 40s. So if not, then it would have been a 12-man team. Okay, so it is called the end zone in rugby. Huh, well, I guess I wasn't wrong. That's what Google says,
I wanted to make a joke with the Danger Zone song, but
fly
can't think of
into
anything.
the end zone. No, not having it. All right.
My sister's here, and she says there's another song with Danger Zone in the name. You want to say something?
Tomorrow is my birthday.
Yeah. Well,
Nobody cares.
Yeah, so we're recording this. Shut the fuck up. We're recording
Shut the fuck up.
this on Thursday, and Friday is my sister's birthday. Right. Well, I'm actually interested in seeing. I'm not sure if we're gonna host these here, but the ice skating thing and I don't know what's called, but fuck. It's like the gymnastic stuff,
Gymnastics.
where they dash and there are some obstacles and there are some flips and shit, and then there's just a big blue square they need to do some tricks on it. I don't know the names.
Yeah,
There are
they're called
athletes in the-
gymnastics.
Oh, so I do know the names.
Yep. That will be hosted because that is a summer Olympic game, while ice skating is a winter Olympic game. So that will not be at this round. That'll be in 2 years.
The thing about ice skating that interests me is how sometimes people just get so goddamn close to death, but then they off.
Is it what?
Yeah, sometimes like they do some flips and some twists and shit, and it seems like they're gonna die pretty much.
Oh yeah, it's
but
insane.
then they don't.
Yeah, it amazes me how they are managed to do what they do. I mean, that is an incredible level of dedication, especially for being able to move your body in that fashion. Something that I'm definitely probably not ever going to be able to do because I'm all about that fat life. I'll tell you what, though, when it comes to badminton, I'm going to go ahead and say that China takes it because there are some badminton fools over in China now.
Again, I wanted to make jokes with badminton and bad motherfuckers, but man, my creativity is shot.
You're doing it. You're really struggling with it there today, Luís.
It's a long day. I forgot there was one other thing about the Olympics I wanted to cover, but I can't remember right now.
Well,
Shit.
you're starting out all wrong in every way. So.
Oh yeah.
So apparently, let's see. Day 0 for the Olympics is tomorrow. It starts with archery, and then day 1 is Saturday,
Mark not.
and that is shooting, and volleyball,
Pew pew.
and rowing.
I don't know
and
what is the
basketball.
sound effect for volleyball.
I don't know either. I remember playing
Yeah?
beach volleyball with some fellow students my first year of college, and one of the girls who played with us was actually on the school's volleyball team, and she would fake going up to the net, like she was going to spike the ball and scream out "got it" when she was nowhere near the ball, just as like a distraction thing. So that's the only really noise that I associate with volleyball.
Got him.
Got him. It's China. There's basketball. There's basketball Saturday. It's gonna be China and USA. So get wrecked, China. I'm gonna go ahead and call USA being the winner on that.
That's expected.
Yeah, well, I was about to say. I think it's. Is that? Listen to me. Basketball was a sport invented here in the United States, and we have a lot of.
Actually, me expected because you're American, so.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that, honest to God, I think that the countries that have the best chance of winning sports are the sports that are not going to be highly physical, like like aggressively physical, like basketball, rugby, swimming, that kind of stuff. But things like badminton, things like shooting, I think it's very likely there's other countries who could easily take that. Oh, boxing is an event. Wow, look at that.
I think America has a pretty good chance at the badminton gold medal.
I don't even know. We're not even in the badminton. we're gonna win it, and we're not even part of it. I like where your head's at, Luís.
Well, I mean, Gotham's a real city that's participating, right?
Sure it is, buddy. Sure it is.
Awesome. All right, so I think we should probably go to our second topic.
Yeah.
Which was, if I'm not mistaken, our favorite show openings.
Favorite show opening. See, this is going to be one thing that you're really glad we re-recorded for this because the original recording for this was 4 of us talking all about anime show openings. So you'll be glad to know that we had technical difficulties Saturday and we're not able to save that bit.
I am relieved. Just kidding.
I know.
It was a really good recording.
It was a good recording, but you would have been, I think you personally would have been annoyed at how much anime we talked about, because we did talk about a lot of it, and we went way off the rails from show openings. For me, as far as show openings go, I think if I have to think on a broader scale beyond just anime, I think that something like Star Trek is a classic show opening.
Oh yeah.
And personal favorite of mine is Farscape. I think the 3rd and 4th season that opening is actually a little bit better than the first 2 seasons openings. I'm trying to think of other ones, and I don't really know, because I don't put like a lot of weight into like show openings as being like whether the show is good or not, because pretty much if I see a show a few times and I figure out the opening, it's like, okay, great, and then I start skipping the opening because I just want to watch the show.
Yeah, you see, I agree with you. I think Star Trek is like the first seasons with Spock and Kirk, the classic Star Trek crew. I really like that one. Now that you mention it, it was really good. But there is something else that for me kind of makes like an opening, which is music. I really like the Daredevil and Jessica Jones opening themes. I did cover those on Netflix, but those are really good.
Yeah, music is definitely one of those things that has a huge impact on the opening of a show. I mean, music affects so much, but TV shows especially, given that the shows are not about music. So in that opening, you kind of get a feel for what the show in general is going to be like. I mean, I'm not like a huge X-Files fan, but I would point to X-Files as being an interesting opening for the show.
Yeah. They like show tidbits of alien stuff, and then there's the truth is out there thing.
Right. It definitely brings in that hint and that desire for that mystery to be solved.
I remember there is one episode at least in that it is not the truth is out there from the original series. I can't remember what it was or why it was, because when I watched it, I was really, really young, and the X-Files scared the living crap out of me. But I remember that there was one that was different. Let me see if I can find it on the internet.
Now, a message from our sponsors, a sponsor that we don't have here on the Shifty podcast, because Luís can't get us any good sponsorship deals.
Sorry, guys. But hey, if anyone wants to sponsor us, get in touch. We can try to work something out. Well, there is a wiki here, but the only thing they're showing, it's like, oh, some of the images they show are different, but nothing about the truth is out there. Fuck.
Okay.
I'll find something eventually.
I'll find something interesting to talk about eventually. I'm sorry, that's not what you said, but that's what I got out of it.
Well, you're not far from the truth.
The truth is out there, kids. You heard it from Luís. There's a show on Netflix. It's called Stranger Things, which probably I hope a lot of people have been watching. If not, go watch it. It's got a lot of 80s references. It was set in 1982, and the opening is a song by Tangerine Dream. I think it's called Exit, which is that show has. It's a really great show, but that opening is really excellent because it's this kind of like ambient techno music that the band Tangerine Dream specialized in. So that's a really good opening.
See, now that you mentioned Stranger Things, I got a personal rant. Not exactly about Stranger Things because I haven't watched it yet, but here's the deal. My sister and I started watching The Walking Dead. Right. Which I told her was a really good series. I mean, a really good story overall, because of the comics, and there's also the TV show and stuff. But she didn't buy it. She was like, "Oh yeah, fuck you. It's zombie stuff." Shut up.
Well, your sister's stupid, which we've established.
Well, yeah, I mean,
must run in the family. Go on.
Whoa. Fuck you. So, where was I? Yes. So I told her it was good. She was like, yeah, no, zombies, not my thing. So my aunt, a few weeks back, goes up to her and says, hey, this show is really fucking good. Have you ever watched it? It's called The Walking Dead. She was like, oh, really? And then after my aunt said it was good, she started watching it. And she was like, oh, you mentioned it before, so let's watch it together. I was like, well, I'm going to swallow my pride. I know I told her it was good. She told me to fuck off. So, so we started watching it together. And then she doesn't like my pace for watching series because she can watch a whole goddamn season in a day. I can't take that shit. Like, I watch 3 episodes at tops and I'm done. Like, I'm spent with series for that day. And yeah, she's here in the background saying, yeah, but who does that? Not watch an entire season. Anyway. And
if you have the time, then yeah, you should watch the whole thing if it's a good show, or watch as much as you can. Like if you're gonna watch like a whole season. But if you're like me, where you're just too busy, I mean, I might watch 1 or 2 episodes a day, or as I can fit it in. So I get it in that regard.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't really have that much time to watch an entire season in a day. But anyway, I found out she started watching. Like I mentioned, Stranger Things was getting some good reception. Like the stuff I saw on Twitter and people saying it was good. I was like, hey, we should probably watch this. It's about this, this, and that, and there are some 80s references. And she was like, yeah, fuck you. Then a few days later, I found out she started watching it. She was almost done with the fucking season because her friend told her it was really good, so she decided to watch it. Apparently, my opinion isn't worth jack shit for my sister.
I mean, it's not worth jack shit for me either. But I mean, it's still rude of her. It's still rude of her, being that she is your sister.
Jim thinks you're rude. He's right. She's laughing maniacally. She has no heart. She wants to explain herself, but no. It's my podcast.
It's my podcast, and I'll do what I want, and I'll talk shit about you as much as I want.
But, well, anyway. So I guess I'm gonna have to watch that one all by myself, cry in a corner.
Oh, wah wah. You can use your tears as lubrication while you cry bait.
I'll make sure I try to remember that.
Just don't think about me. Actually, no, I take that back. Do think about me. I know that I enjoy causing you pain.
Well, that is a little disturbing, so we should probably do some questions.
Hey, speaking of people who cause pain, we're not going to talk about Rey and Palpatine?
Yeah, that's because it was a question.
Was it?
I
feel like it was just a topic for the podcast. I don't feel like it was a question.
Alright, well, whatever. So let's talk about it then. Here's the thing, Sonny. By the way, thank you, Sonny. You suggested the Rio Olympics thing and the Rey is probably Palpatine's granddaughter theory as topics. So thanks. So Sonny sent a link with a video about a theory that Rey is actually Palpatine's granddaughter, and he asked for us to elaborate. So I tried to watch the video. I watched a little bit of it, but I'll get to that in a minute or so. One thing that right off the bat makes me think that it's not true is who the fuck would be willing to bang Palpatine?
You got to think of it this way. You got to think of how many unattractive individuals get laid on a regular basis, right? It's not hard to imagine that an unattractive person with a lot of money and power could get laid. I mean, just look at Donald Trump. Somebody had sex with him, They didn't do it because of his face. They did it because of his money. So, it's not impossible to imagine that Palpatine could definitely, if nothing else, get himself a concubine. So you see, he was a Sith. He wasn't a Jedi. So, he has no compunction about laying the dick.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it was before Episode 3, then I can kind of understand. I mean, he resembles a human being. He is a person. He is all fucked up, dude.
Yeah, I have to imagine it's a pre-Episode 3 event. He could have had children and not known it.
But, I mean, what is your take on that one, Jim?
Well, just from watching the video, I mean, there's a lot of, there's a whole lot of, a lot of this stuff that points to what could be her being Palpatine's daughter is purely anecdotal at best. So, my take on it is that, from the video, the first thing they pointed out was the fighting style, that Rey and Palpatine are the only two ever seen in the movies that have a thrusting motion when they go to attack, like they're trying to impale their enemy. And it's like, okay, but that's just sword fighting in general. I mean, swords are typically either they're broadswords and they're made for swinging, or they're more like a rapier, which is made for stabbing. But when you have a weapon that is deadly no matter how you touch it, stabbing and swinging are both viable options. So I'm going to say purely anecdotal and not believable.
Yeah, about that one, it's like, dude, you're in a sword fight, a laser sword fight or whatever.
Right.
So if you're in a fight, you're trying to kill someone. So you're going to stab a bitch, It's simple as that. Palpatine tries to stab people, Rey tries to stab people. Darth Maul tried to stab. I mean, he did stab Qui-Gon Jinn. Spoiler alert.
Right.
So it's not like I don't think Darth Maul is his son. Just because of that. It's a fighting style, for fuck's sakes.
Right.
You try to kill someone as fast as you can during a fight like that. So
Right.
stabbing, it's a pretty good option for killing people.
Right. With a weapon, a bladed weapon, either a metal blade or a laser blade, stabbing is a viable option. So, not believable, purely anecdotal. I don't give it any credence at all. The one thing that they pointed out a couple different times in the video over different things was that Rey is angry in the movie. Like, she's angry. And it's like, well, no shit, she's angry. She's a human being, and everything that she's gone through in the last, 3 days is all bad. Like, her family is supposedly dead, at least according to Maz Kanata. She implies that. She doesn't say that.
Or Toad's gone.
Her what?
Or Toad's gone. Totally gone.
Oh, yeah. So, you're right. They're either dead or they're never coming back. Irrelevant. It's still heartbreaking and it's angering. She's been tortured. She's been captured and held prisoner. Her very good friend, Finn, as far as she knows, is dead while she's fighting Kylo Ren. So, these are all good reasons for Rey to be angry. And she's not a Jedi. So, yeah, she's a human being. She's gonna get a little pissed off. So that's a stupid argument, because if we go into this thing and the whole world that anger is evil and therefore of the dark side, then everybody in the galaxy is of the dark side, because everybody gets angry. So shut the fuck up. So that's stupid.
About oh, look how she kills that stormtrooper. Well, no shit.
Yeah.
Everyone is killing everyone.
Right. I'm like, Han Solo's not the bad guy. I mean, he's obviously not of the dark side, but he gets angry and shoots stormtroopers. I mean, he shot Greedo in the first movie. Right. It's like, that's like I said, it's a stupid and idiotic argument. The next thing is that Rey is on the dark side of the Force Awakens poster, and it's like, I mean, technically, if you want to divide it by left and right, yes, but the Starkiller base was on the right side of the poster, which is the light side of the poster. And also take note, that's the USA only poster. The other countries have different posters, and so she's in different places on those posters. So that's dumb. Anecdotal at best, so stupid.
Wait, maybe the Starkiller base used renewable fuel sources. So it was on the good side of the environment.
If you consider stars to be renewable, I feel like that's not quite how that system works.
Yeah, it was using solar energy, for fuck's sake.
In the most extreme way possible. In the novelization, they pointed this out in the video. In the novelization, while Rey is getting ready to kill Kylo Ren, she hears an amorphous voice that tells her to do it, to kill Kylo Ren. And the author of the video said, now, we already know who Snoke is, so the voice wouldn't be amorphous if it was Snoke. And it's like, but Rey doesn't know who Snoke is, okay? So, it would be amorphous to her, okay? So, don't be stupid, again, with the stupid arguments. So,
what it could be was also the cries of everyone in the movie theater, which, I did it myself. I'm not one to, mutter words during a movie, but I was like, fucking kill this son of a bitch. Thrust him with the lightsaber all the way, cut him open like a pig.
He killed Han, so I mean, it's like, yeah, he needs to die. I get that. I don't care if he's his son. He doesn't have that right. We've known him longer, so we were here first. We were here first. Fuck you, Kylo Ren. So yeah, that again is a stupid argument. I think. I mean, I think it plays into this idea because we're getting more into Star Wars now, especially with, it looks like, with season 3 of Star Wars Rebels. We're going to be getting into this territory that the Force is far more complex than the light side and the dark side, and it kind of leans toward what Obi-Wan was saying in the first movie with Luke, where he implies that the decision to become a Jedi is that anybody could do it. That everyone has an affinity and a connection with the Force, and that all of us can choose to exploit that. So what she might be doing, because she is tapping into her natural gift with the Force, is the Force is talking back to her, but because she is angry in that moment, she hears the dark side of the Force. So, again, I don't think that leads into her being related to Palpatine in any. So, next point. J.J. Abrams said in an interview, I think it was at Celebration, where he said that Rey's parents are not in Episode 7. This could be an outright lie, because Abrams outright lied about Khan being in the second Star Trek movie. So, that means 0. Kylo Ren knows Rey. We see him in the movie where he grabs the officer by the neck, and he's like, "What girl?" He obviously knows who she is. He's interested in finding her. Specifically, in the book, when she grabs the lightsaber, the Luke and Anakin Skywalker lightsaber with the Force, and activates it. In the movie, he just stares at her, but in the novel, he says, "It is you." That doesn't mean that she's the daughter of Palpatine. That just means that he knows who she is.
Yeah, you see, the thing about this video, and now you're starting to get to points that I didn't watch, because here's the thing. I couldn't stomach the video. Like, I got halfway through it, and I was like, Jesus Christ. It's all like, hey, the sun is bright. Therefore,
Right? It must be.
I am Batman.
It's like this. Nobody's ever seen me and Batman in the same room. Ergo, I'm Batman. No, you're not. You're not Batman. So, the other point that really took me away from it as being anecdotal at best is that in the novel, when Luke looks at Rey, it describes his view as being haunted. It's like, well, yeah, he would probably have a haunted look from anybody who showed up in the fucking Millennium Falcon, especially if it's possibly a child that he has trained before at the Academy, where I assume what happened now is that Rey was with Luke, and he left her on Jakku with the promise that I'll come back for you, and he goes back to... Yeah, right. And he goes back to his academy to find that Ben Solo has become Kylo Ren and killed all of his students. And so he thinks that she might be dead. Whatever happens to Luke, and he's gone for a very long time. So it's like, okay, that doesn't mean that she's Palpatine's daughter just because she has a haunted look. Again, stupid and anecdotal. That being said, there were a few points in the video that could make me lean towards that direction. The best was hearing Palpatine's voice in the vision that she has. In episode 3, Palpatine is talking to Anakin and says, "You could be more powerful than any Jedi." And in the Force vision, they did some nifty audio editing where they peeled back the layers of the audio, and you hear Palpatine saying "any Jedi" during the video, or during the vision.
Obi-Wan's voice?
Obi-Wan was in there, where he says, "Rey, these are the first steps." Now, see, I made the argument previously when we talked about this, I think it was on the private cast with Vic, that it is more believable that she would be Obi-Wan's descendant because Obi-Wan talks to her in the vision. There is no reason that a man who has been dead for more than 30 years would come back as a Force ghost or a voice in the Force and say to her, "Rey, these are the first steps." You get it? Like, she hears Palpatine's voice saying "any Jedi," but Palpatine isn't talking to her. Because we also hear Darth Vader breathing in the background right at the beginning of the vision. But that doesn't mean that Vader is there.
Maybe the Jedi afterlife is kind of boring, so, sometimes. Like,
Right. Shit happens in the Force, I guess. It's just, everything's a little bit different. So, my only thing is that that's the best evidence we have for her being related to Palpatine, is that she hears him in the vision, but that's not very good evidence in my opinion. It's that her family is implied to be dead. That could mean that she's, again, a descendant of Obi-Wan, but Maz Kanata pretty much says, "Your family's dead, they're not coming back, bro. Sorry about your luck." Okay, Palpatine's dead, we know that. Obi-Wan is also dead, we know that. So, but but I could see why people would think that,
You know who else is dead?
What?
90% of the Jedi, the galaxy.
Yeah, right. I would say 99.99% of the Jedi in the galaxy. All save one, because
Right.
Luke is the last one.
Some of them had kids and stuff.
Luke is the last one, as far as we know. Last 2 points that are going in favor of it is that their accents, they both have English accents. Again, this could be in favor of Obi-Wan, and I will say that Obi-Wan's English accent is much stronger than Palpatine's. And but I do love the idea of Rey being Palpatine's daughter from a storytelling perspective, but I also love the idea of her being Obi-Wan's daughter from a storytelling perspective even more, because Obi-Wan trained Luke, or trained Anakin. Anakin went to the dark side. Obi-Wan trained Luke, or started to train Luke, and then he died, and Luke had to learn on his own going forward, even though he had Yoda to help him out. It would be like a Zen thing, like a yin and yang kind of thing, if Luke then trained Obi-Wan's descendant. So it's a much more personal story for Luke and Rey both if she is the descendant of Obi-Wan as opposed to the descendant of Palpatine, because Luke never interacts with the Emperor until the second half of Episode 6, and that's it.
Yeah.
So Palpatine was never Luke's enemy. Palpatine was the bad guy from the prequels, and Vader is the main bad guy of the original series. So
Yeah, Palpatine in the original series, he's like the big bad guy from a general story point. Like, oh, he's the leader of the Empire, so
Right.
he obviously has to go down. But Vader's a real motherfucker here.
Right,
It's
Vader.
only in Episode 6. It's like, oh shit, the Emperor is really fucking evil.
Yeah, it's for sure. I mean, and that's so again, it's one of those things where it's like people are looking into it. I think they're looking into it the wrong way. So I'm still on board with more than ever her being Obi-Wan's descendant as opposed to Luke's or Palpatine's, any other shit like that.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool to give the Kenobi bloodline some love.
I mean, and that's the thing, is it's like it kind of sucks that we had Obi-Wan. I mean, we had him for a long time. I mean, he's in all 6 movies in some form or other. I mean, I guess 7 because he even talks to Rey. I guess that makes R2D2, C3PO, and Obi-Wan the only characters who are in every single Star Wars movie. So.
Oh well, Palpatine too, maybe.
Nope, he wasn't in Episode 4.
Yeah, not even the remasters, right?
Nope.
Oh,
He's only referenced. I think they say the Emperor. I think once. So you can't even say that it's
Yeah, now they announced like the Han Solo prequel trilogy. Okay, but first of all, I'm not sure if I trust that guy for playing Han Solo. But then again, he has some pretty big fucking shoes to fill in. You know,
right. I mean, it's kind of like
Ford.
Yeah. I mean, unless you go back in time, or unless you clone Harrison Ford and have young Harrison Ford play young Han Solo, I don't think there's anybody who's gonna do it. But we also have to understand that a young Han Solo, is also very different from the Han Solo we grew up to know, who was in the later part of his life. So I could understand why they would. I mean, obviously, this age difference aside, I like the idea of them picking someone else just because we get to see a very different Han Solo.
I would very much like to watch a prequel about Obi-Wan though. Maybe
I am absolutely interested in that. I don't know if it was on the private cast or one of the regular podcast episodes, where I saw an interview that Ewan McGregor did, and he said that there has been a lot of conversation at the Lucasfilm studios about Ewan McGregor coming back as Obi-Wan, and he's kind of getting to that age with the facial hair, if you dyed it white or put some gray in it, that he really starts to look like Sir Alec Guinness. So I think it's absolutely believable. And then something he said in the interview, because he said it like 3 or 4 times about him coming back as Obi-Wan, and then something he said in the interview about doing a trilogy. And so that's where that whole idea came from.
Right, so should we jump to the questions?
Yeah, we can do a couple questions.
Cool. Wait, Jim, did you see what I typed in the chat?
Yeah, if your sister wants to defend
Is
her
that okay?
her dumb idea, sure, go for it.
Yeah, sure. So she's like, "Oh, let me do my bit," and it's a
Let me do
question
my bit.
part.
No, it's my podcast. You can't do your bit on my
Yeah,
podcast.
I told her that, but all right. So here's the thing, audience. My sister wants to give her point of view from the whole Netflix debacle, so she will do that explanation. Then we'll do the questions. Is that all right, Jim?
That's fine with me.
Please don't be too mean.
We're shotgunning this whole thing.
All right. So, Sis, come here. She is. Well, how the fuck are you going to listen? Great. She just doesn't.
Okay,
doesn't want
she
to
had her
listen.
chance. She gave it up.
Right. Get
Questions.
close to the mic. Wait. Now she's going to explain. She's just not going to listen. Jesus Christ. Go.
Hey guys, first of all, I'd like to say sorry, truly sorry about my English. That is not so good as Luís. But first of all, the Walking Dead situation was because I'm really scared about everything related to horror movies, you know? And then I didn't know that wasn't so bad. And my aunt kept insisting that it's not so bad. You can see, you won't be afraid, and oh, I'm okay. Oh, I'm gonna watch. And then I really like it. About the Stranger Things issue, you must know, guys. Luís talks a lot, but a lot.
Yeah.
You don't know. You have no idea. So I'm like Twitter, and I already said that to him. I have a limited numbers of letters that I can hear. You know, after this, I just stop to listen.
Yeah, she uses a Twitter logic with me. If I go over 140 characters, she just, fuck off.
Your sister pretty much says you have a word allowance.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, go on.
And then he must have said about Stranger Things in a time that I wasn't listening. That's why. And then my friend told me about the series, and I told him as in something new, you know, Luís, let's watch this. And then he got really pissed off at me, but with no reason because I didn't hear him first, you know. That's my explanation. Don't be so terrible at me.
You want to say any final
be so-
words? For the audience, not. That sounds really bad. You want to say bye to the audience?
Bye, audience, and this podcast rules.
Thank you. So basically, she doesn't listen to me. That's the moral of the story here. Right.
Basically, your sister's a terrible liar.
Yeah, and now that she was on the podcast, I don't really have to buy her a birthday gift. Yes, nice. I saved some bucks.
People from around the world are going to hear your sister's voice. That should be gift.
Yeah,
enough.
I mean that's a pretty big reward. All right, so questions. I already did the theme, so I don't want Jim to punch me through the internet.
Nope.
Right, so this one was sent by Dr. Sparks, and the question is, who is your third favorite Disney princess?
You know, I did some thinking on this, and I don't know. I mean, I think I guess I would pick Pocahontas, as it's definitely Ariel because she's the redhead, and then Mulan because she's the warrior princess, and then you have, even though she's not really a princess, and then you have Pocahontas, who is not. I don't think she's a warrior in the way Mulan ended up being a warrior, but she is still a fighter in a significant way. I mean, her whole culture is as a hunter gatherer culture, with Native Americans. So I would guess I would have to say Pocahontas
As your third favorite.
as my third favorite. That's right.
So are we using the whole thing that Princess Leia is now a Disney princess, or no? Are we just working with classical Disney here?
I was thinking in terms of classical Disney, just because. Yeah, I mean, Leia is a Disney princess, but she was not made with the idea in mind that she would be a Disney princess.
All right, yeah, I can see that. I'd probably say Ariel. But then again, it's not that I like her less. It's just that I suck at picking favorites. So, I could name half a dozen that would probably be on the first place. But yeah, I think Ariel for
Fair
the third
enough.
place. Mulan is also pretty dope. Jasmine from Aladdin is also pretty good.
Yeah, I think in terms of like, I say Ariel's like my favorite because she's the redhead, but she's also kind of like, if I remember the Little Mermaid correctly, it's been a long time since I've watched it. She's kind of dumb. So in terms of like pure character, it's definitely Mulan is the most interesting of the Disney princesses, I think.
Yeah, or maybe even Belle. Yeah, I'm torn between putting.
I don't know. I'm not in love with Belle. I can't. She's not a bad character. Don't misunderstand. And I do like the fact that she's kind of like the plain Jane girl, you know, who kind of gets caught up in this adventure, and there's something that's fun about that. But I don't. Aside from that aspect of her story, I'm just not like, man.
Yeah, I can understand that. Although, to be honest, we all know that the first place is always the magic carpet. Yes.
Yeah, the carpet is definitely
I mean, that carpet
Definitely.
though.
that carpet though. She better shave that carpet. That's all I got to say.
Wait, what?
Heyo!
Not the same carpet.
I mean, that carpet's pretty magical, I think. Aren't you glad I'm on this podcast with you?
Oh man, that was a good one.
Everybody should have a friend like me.
Yeah, they should. This next one was by Sunny88P, and the question is, what is the best $5 or less you have ever spent?
Man, I can't think of any.
That is a fucking difficult one.
I was gonna say I can't think of any prostitutes I've paid less than $5 to.
Oh, wait.
Just kidding. I've never paid anybody for any kind of services of that regard.
Wink.
I am really trying to think on this one. I mean, if it was that good, I would remember it, right? Like, I suspect I probably found, like, some sneaky ass, like, video game deal. Like, I think of, I think of, the Tomb Raider remake from 2013 that I got on a Steam summer sale for, like, $12, which I didn't think I was going to care that much for, and then turned out to really love. So, to that, but $5, man, I'm really not sure. What would that be in Brazilian currency?
About 20 Brazilian reais.
What are they called? Reais?
Reais.
Well, that's just stupid.
Hey, it's a pretty OG name, man.
What do you mean OG? A Reais?
Reais. It's a plural. Well, in a way, it's a plural. It's cool, okay?
No, it's not. It is not cool.
But yeah, I mean, for 20 Brazilian reais, I could have bought some really cool shit. I mean, there are some pubs here. It's actually it's not exactly like pubs you can find in England and stuff. I don't know if you guys have those like that in the US, but yeah, but like the ones I'm about to describe, it's like there's live music and stuff. You need to pay it forward. Like you need to pay a fee to enter.
Yeah, it's called a cover.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. So yeah, I've probably been to a few live events at pubs that were really cool, and it was like 20 Brazilian reais. So I guess that, because video game deals here are just non-existent. It's all really fucking expensive.
We don't have deals here in Brazil.
Yeah, we don't at all. And maybe some books. Yeah, I think some books. And for the last question, this one was by SpartanSloth. What? And the question, hey, fuck you. The question is, do you even lift?
Are we talking about like going to the gym lifting, or do we talk about just lifting anything? Because I think I lifted 13 50-pound printers today at work. So I do lift, but I don't exercise lift.
Sure, let's go with both. Yeah, general lifting, sure, who doesn't? Exercise lifting, Not
Nope.
exactly. Not with like the dumbbells and shit. But I mean, push-ups kind of count. I mean, I'm lifting myself.
Right.
So let's just say maybe.
On the good days.
On the good days, yes. All right. So I think we can wrap this one up. Do you have a question for the audience, Jim?
Who is going to win the Olympics in boxing? That's my question.
Who is going to win the Olympics in boxing?
Boxing, yeah, like the like, you know, two guys in a ring with gloves on.
Punch, knockout.
Punch, knockout. That's it. No, I don't know that that's going to be socially acceptable in a polite sport or a polite company like the Olympics.
They should, though.
Oh, here's a secondary question. When are they going to bring Halo to the Olympics?
Oh, right, yes.
I've been watching the North American regionals to see if we go to the World Tournament. So.
Oh, but you mean like esports, right?
Yeah, esports, yeah.
Oh, come on.
I think Olympics, though, I think Olympics is really only physical sports. I mean, because, like, there's no chess or any board games. Not in the Olympics.
Huh. Well, there goes my chance at being a Monopoly gold medalist. So, okay, these are the questions. And before we wrap up for good, Sunny, answer a question we asked. Actually, I asked. This is from podcast number 126. The question is, what is your Ilvermorny house? And the answer is, by Sonny again, I am in the Horned Serpent house. Horned Serpent house is sometimes considered to represent the mind of a witch or wizard. This is a quote. It is also said that Horned Serpent favors scholars. So I'm in Ravenclaw and now in Horned Serpent, which is obvious if you consider that knowledge is what I value most.
Alrighty.
I actually was selected for Ravenclaw and the other one I can't remember, but it's like a magical panther, which was pretty badass. So there is the possibility of having mixes there.
Alright, fair enough. This something I really don't know anything about, but alright.
Jim, please. Go to the quizzes thingies.
What quiz thingy? What are you talking about?
Go to Pottermore and then you fill
out...
Pottermore?
Like... No, I ain't doing all that shit. No.
Damn it, Jim.
It's not gonna be a thing. Sorry. Like, here's the thing. Like, it would probably be like the most pure test because I don't know what any of the houses are and what they represent, so I couldn't edit my answers in any way to lean towards a certain faction or not.
That's Hufflepuff talk.
Sure, why not?
For people who
we'll go with that. I don't know what the fuck that is, but all right. You got it, buddy.
Alright then, so everyone, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to listen to the outro to find out how to interact with us. And until next week, I don't know, become an Olympic athlete or something.
Go be an Olympic superstar.
Yes.
Root for Team USA. They're the best team ever. Bye. This podcast intro and outro music is provided to us by TDBTyler. You can find him on Rooster Teeth by searching for his name, TDBTyler, and looking for his group, Oh the Humanity, spelled O-H, exclamation point, THECOMMANATEE. You can also find more of his work on YouTube by searching for his channels, The Dropped Banana, all one word, and Oh the Humanity.
Wait, I need to do the countdown, but first, hi audience. Yeah, this is the re-recording of episode 130. We had one, but it didn't quite work out because the file got corrupted somehow. Probably Charlie's fault for putting his penis in it.
We're just gonna chalk it up to technical difficulties for politeness' sake.
Nah, probably something to do with it.
Okay, it was Tyler's dick.
So now, the countdown. 3, 2, 1.